Neck Nation, welcome to the NECKROOTS Ranch. I'm Kit James.
Austin Davis.
I'm coming to you live, and you know what? We got something exciting to talk about today, and it's called time.
Time, dude. I'm glad we're talking about this one again. This one had a big impact on me, so
Yeah.
I assume it has a good impact on everybody else.
You know what? There's so much powerful information when we talk about time, and it's one of the things that levels the playing field for all of us is time, and it's one thing that you can't buy more of, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So, but what we're going to do is talk about time and try to paint a picture and compartmentalize and how much time we have left and what we do with our time. And if we break it down, I was sitting at the doctor's office today breaking it down, and I looked up the life expectancy of, an adult, anyone, a human in U.S., and it's 79 years.
79 years,
It
man.
used to be better than that before.
Did it?
Before processed foods.
And before cell phones.
Yeah.
Right?
And before energy
Ear
drinks.
cancer. And energy drinks.
So anyway, it's 79 years. And so I started looking at 79 years. That sounds like such a long time.
It does.
And so I started breaking it down to days, because if you break it down into days and then you start breaking down your days,
Yeah.
you start to kind of see how important time is.
Right.
Right. And so, and I know we've done an episode on time before, and we're going to reflect back on a lot of that. It's good information.
Yeah.
Right. We'll pull some of those threads through, but there's 28,835 days in a 79 years of life.
Okay, so just about 29,000 days.
Yeah,
Let's call it 29,000.
Pretty dang close.
Pretty close.
Okay? So, and we all remember our birthday, right? We should.
Got that one down.
So that's the first day we're here on Earth.
Right.
We don't much remember it.
Nope, not at all.
But we remember the day, and that's our first year here on this life, in that day one that we celebrate every year. That's our first year, and we got 364 more days left of that year, right?
Yeah, all of them a blur for me.
Right.
I'm not picking up any of that.
So if we fast forward to where it's not a blur, right, 15 years,
Okay.
there is 5,475 days in 15 years.
Okay. Cool.
That starts to paint a picture for you, right?
That does. Yeah.
And so now I look at, with the 28,835 days for, if we live to be 79 years old, I think to myself, what are we doing with that time?
Yeah.
Right? With those days, because that's the important part. That helps us figure out what we're doing with our time.
Yeah, as I'm thinking about this, if we manage our time like we manage money, we'd be more efficient, right? You know how much money you got in the bank almost, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we're doing with our time.
Yeah, you're right. If I asked you how much money you had, you could throw a number.
Yeah, we budget our money, let's budget time.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I asked you how much time you had left,
Well, we don't know.
you don't know, right?
But if we're expecting 79 years, we can at least put together a
Right.
good budget. Sure.
And that's hopefully what we're all expecting. So breaking down this almost 29,000 days in a 79-year lifespan, there's 8,477 that we'll spend sleeping.
Man,
Okay?
8,000.
Yeah, so let's just say 8,500.
Yeah.
Right? We slept in a few days.
No kidding.
That we're going to spend sleeping. And is all I can think of is hopefully next to someone we love.
No kidding.
Right?
Yeah.
And then there's 1,635 days that we'll spend eating, either prepping food, running to grab a drink, those kind of things, right?
Now we're up to, what are we up to? About 10K?
Yeah.
God.
So, and hopefully, again, we're eating and preparing that food with someone we love.
Someone you
right?
love. Yeah, sure.
That time spent's good time. Then there's 3,202 that we're going to spend either working or at work. 3,202 days, right?
That's a lot of days, man. I don't even
Yeah.
want to think about that.
We spend more time sleeping. But
Well, let's be honest, Kit. You're probably up to about 10,000 days working and about 2,000 days sleeping. Those are your numbers, bro.
my numbers are off, bro.
Your numbers are off.
I don't sleep. I plug in,
There you go.
right? But you think about that. Hopefully, that time that we're working, we're doing something that gives us purpose, or at least we're enjoying our work, or feel like we're getting somewhere,
Making
right?
a difference.
Sure.
Something, yeah.
So then we spend 1,099. We'll just call it 1,100 commuting or driving or traveling to and fro, A to B, right? Just that runaround time.
Okay.
1,100.
Now we're up to about 15,000 of our days gone.
Yeah. So then we have, and this blew me away, 2,676 days watching TV or relaxing.
Oh my gosh.
Just personal time.
Holy cow.
Right? So almost as much as we do working.
No kidding.
Which is crazy.
That's nuts.
And then we spend 1,576 doing chores, shopping, cleaning, straightening stuff up around the house, honeydews, whatever you want to call it, washing the rig, right?
Yep.
And then there's 564 days caring for people that we love or helping people that we love or going and giving mom and dad a hand or doing something like that.
Okay.
So a lot less days, which is kind of crazy,
Yeah.
helping people. And then there's 671 days that we spend, unless you're my wife, bathing, grooming, bathroom related time, prepping, getting ready for the day, getting ready for the night, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Me, I can cut a lot of time off there, dude. I just put a lid on and go.
Yeah, no kidding. Unless you visit Taco Bell all the time, then you got to add a couple days to that one
true.
there.
So then there's 720 that we spend doing community activities, charity work, church service, things like that.
Sure.
So if you add all those up, we have 2,740 days that are left to enjoy family, loved ones, laughing, crying, enjoying hobbies, arts, passions, living our dreams, chasing our bucket list, texting, social media, sports, or learning something new.
Dude, that's not a lot in the grand scheme of how many days we started with.
Well, think about me, bro. I'm 50 years old. Half of those are already gone.
Yeah.
So,
more than half, dude. I don't want to scare you or nothing. But
I know. When you think about it, see, when you break it down into days, and just take one day and break it down, right? And then you break it down over 79 years. That's what you get to. We have 2,740 days if we live to be 79 years old to do those things that we want to do, enjoy family, etc.
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
We spend more time at work than we do with that 2,740 hours or days that we have left to enjoy family and chasing our dreams.
That's crazy, man. It just highlights the importance that you should not be wasting your time.
It's such it's such an impactful way to look at it. And so, I mean, I ask you, Neck Nation, or whoever's listening, where are you right now? Like, how old are you, right? How many of these days do you have left? I know where I'm at, right? I don't want to waste any time when you look at it like this. And, I mean, how many of these days have you already used up? And then you think back, how did I use them? Right?
Yep. And so, if you're one of those guys or ladies, whatever, working 16-hour days, you're cutting into that 2,200 days you got left for yourself and your family, right?
Yeah.
So, or you're cutting into your 2,500 days worth of TV time. That blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
But what are we doing? Where are we at on the timeline, the literal timeline, and what are we doing with what we got left?
And a lot of these categories are going to be skewed depending on who you are.
Sure.
Right? This is just a general rule of thumb, right, for the average person. But even if my numbers are skewed somewhere else, I'm still using that time somewhere else. Those days don't get added or subtracted. They just get moved to a different place.
Yeah.
So where is it being moved to? And is that more beneficial for me in my life or those that I love, right?
Right.
And so you have to ask yourself, how much time do you have left?
Yeah, that's
how
a good
many
question.
days, right?
Right. And I think we need to understand the importance. A lot of times we think like the most valuable thing that we possess is assets or money, right? We always tie that to, that's the value right there. The most valuable two things that we all possess are, number one, our relationships with our loved ones, family, that type of stuff, and then time. Time is way more valuable than money.
And we have the least amount of days or time left to enjoy family, loved ones, doing those things. And then in that 2,740 days that are left is categorized social media, sports, or learning something new. How much of that 2,740 days is being wasted on social media or just doing the mind numbing scroll, right?
Yeah,
or,
we got to
or
take
whatever.
some of that back.
Yeah.
Take some of that back.
So it really, really opens your eyes, and we don't know how much time we have left, but we do know, with the life expectancy of 79, where we're at.
Yeah.
And I'm more than halfway there. And so I just have to ask, what if you had just one day left, and how would we spend it? You know what I mean?
I guarantee you wouldn't be watching TV
Yeah.
or scrolling on social media or going to work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. So
I'd be riding dirt bikes with my family. I'd
There
make
you
sure
go.
they all had one. We'd go out and ride dirt bikes.
there you go.
Yeah.
and so it's something really important to think about when you compartmentalize it like that.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time. So that small category where we're going to get our most joy, we should not put them off, right?
Yeah. Right.
We spend more time working, and those things that we do, those material things that we're chasing, those categories are full. They're, when you add them all up, whether we're washing the rig or running to get something at the store for the rig or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and then the time that we work and then the time we sleep, those numbers are so much greater than the days that we have left. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
where are you
Yeah.
at right now, Neck Nation? Right? You know where you're at with your 2,740 days that you have left.
Yeah.
And so what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Forget about yesterday, man. What are we going to do about today?
Yeah. I think this is probably a good time to kind of cut back to some of that stuff that we talked about.
Absolutely.
Which is important. What was important to do with your time, right?
It'll help us.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. Cool.
Let's watch it. Let's send it.
Let's check it out. And I was thinking about the importance of time, and maybe a time in my life, so to speak, where I kind of realized the importance of time. Some of you guys may know from previous episodes or whatever that I've been into racing dirt bikes, and there was one time in my life where I had a pretty bad accident. We're not going to go into the details of the accident today. Maybe we'll do that on a future episode.
It was bad, though.
But it was bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And in fact, I feel like I should have died in that accident. And I realized that as I was laying there on the ground, I really thought that my time was up, and it became the most important thing to me in that moment, right? Of, I didn't have enough time. I wanted more time. And so time, super important. For me, when it came down to the wire and I thought I was out of time, I was wishing I had more of it, right? So I'm excited that we're talking about time today and the benefit that it is for all of us in our lives.
Well, that's a good perspective to put on it. I don't want to fast forward to where I'm worried that I need more time, but
Yeah.
reality is that puts a real good spin on it. So
Yeah.
Thank you. I think one of the reasons we keep our podcasts as short as we can with as much juice in them as we can pull out of them is it because of time.
Yeah, absolutely. Time is a precious thing. We don't want to take too much of it, but we want to dedicate the right amount to uplifting and hope-filled things, right?
Right. And if you get one thing out of any of these episodes, I'd rather see action applied and more time spent on the action than, people are always learning. And I think sometimes as we learn, it helps build our confidence that we feel like we're spending that time wisely to learn something, and that's good. But if we never put it into action, I'd rather see, knowledge is potential and action is power. I'd rather see people spend more time putting it into action because it's important. So I look at time like time is kind of confusing when you sit and look at it because it's an illusion. And East Coast, it's a different time than it is the West Coast. Pacific time, Mountain time, Central time.
Yeah.
And if time wasn't an illusion, it'd be the same time as it is in Australia as we are right now, right?
Yeah.
And for obvious reasons, right? We can't do that. But time is definitely illusion, and so we need to... It's so much of an illusion that... Have you seen that TV show 60 Minutes?
I have seen it, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, a long time ago.
I was sitting there one day watching this 60-minute show, and I was timing it because it's time. I mean, they named it 60 minutes. And we know why. But there's only 44 minutes.
Right.
Right? The rest of it's eaten up in commercials. So I sat and thought about it. I'm like, man, look at me sitting here watching 60 minutes, which is really 44 minutes. And I should have been hooking up my love life during that time and not watching these commercials.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Right?
Better things to do with that time.
Yeah, exactly. So when you look at time like that and it's an illusion, you start to, and the example you used, in that moment right then, you wanted more time.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I think a lot of us, let me ask you a question, Austin. Right now, at this very moment, can you do something 5 minutes ago for me?
Absolutely not.
Can you do something in 10 minutes, 10 minutes from now, right now?
Not right now, I can't.
Right. So it really comes down to what are we doing in the present? What are we doing right now? And how are we using our time? We can certainly plan for the future. And I mean, that's why we change oil in the rigs, right?
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, we take care of the tractors and do maintenance so we don't have a problem in the future. But the reality is, I mean, we really only have right now. And so when I think about that, I go, you know what? How much time do we spend worrying about things? Worry eats up a lot of time.
It does. And as for myself, I'm a worrier.
Oh,
I
yeah.
worry about everything.
Right?
Everything, anything that could go wrong, I'm worried about it all the time, right? And if I sit back and I think about how much time of my day did I spend worrying about something that never even came to fruition or that I didn't need to worry about in the first place, man, I'd have a lot of time back, brother.
Bro, I tell you what, I've worried about a lot of things that never happened.
Yeah,
I kind of feel embarrassed. It's like, look at the amount of time I spent worrying about something that never materialized.
right.
So I think worrying, it doesn't solve anything, right? If you can't do anything about that worry right now, then we shouldn't worry about it,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Whatever's in the present is the most important.
Yep, you're absolutely right. And so worrying really robs us of our power today, right? And what we could be doing in the present. So the other thing is, I take the kids fishing all the time, right?
Yeah.
Always on a river. And me and my sons, we walked out into this river. It was moving fast, and we had all of our waders on, and we're fly fishing. And the fishing, we thought we hit the caddis hatch right at the right time, but we didn't. So it was real slow. And so we just sat on the banks of the river, and those were the opportunities, right?
Sure. Yep. Absolutely. I've had some of those with my dad, and they that time means the most to me. So
right. So we sat there talking, and it hit me. I'm watching this river just rush by, and I said, "Boys, did you know? But right now, as we sit here and see that water that's going by this riverbank," they said, "Yeah." I said, "We've walked out in it. We've touched it. We will never touch the same molecular structure of water twice. Like when it goes past,
it's gone.
It's gone. Program's over, right? You'll never get it back."
That's powerful.
That's how, when you relate things, I think it's easy for us to get in it. When I was sitting there thinking about it, I don't know why I thought about it, but I just thought about it, and it's a lot like time. Right now, this very minute, Neck Nation, you're listening, and we appreciate it because we know how you're spending your time.
Yeah.
But we're not going to get this time back. So we certainly have to make sure that we're using our time wisely and, do whatever we can to hook up right now.
Absolutely.
So what is time and money? People always says time is money. Time is money. What is the correlation between time and money? What similarities do you see when we talk about time and money?
Well, I see you can spend your time making money, right? So when people say time is money, it's usually like their time is worth something, right? And everybody's time is worth something. And
priceless.
it should be priceless.
Right. So I look at time and money, and you're right. You're absolutely right. And I was thinking, the one thing about money, you can ask anybody out there in Neck Nation, how much money do you have? They might not be able to tell you down to the penny. Some could.
Yeah.
But I ask you, Neck Nation, how much money you have, and you think about it for a minute, within the ballpark, you're pretty
close.
An
answer. Yeah, you've got an answer.
Well, let me ask you, how much time do you have?
Man, I have no clue.
Nobody does, right? We have absolutely no idea, Neck Nation, how much time we have. So what does that tell you?
That our priorities are messed up. We should be keeping track of our time a lot better than what we are.
Right? Because we don't know. It could be tomorrow. It could be whenever. One of the ways I like to explain time is when another way is my wife, she'll go shopping and she'll come home and she'll say, "Honey, I'm so excited. What are you excited about, babe?" And she'll say, "These boots that you wanted?" And I'll say, "Yeah." "Well, they're normally $280 and I saved $85 or
there
whatever it is," right?
Yeah.
when they're double H boots for me, I don't say nothing.
Yeah,
But
right. No kidding.
how many times we get excited about saving a nickel, saving a dollar?
Every day. My wife does the same thing, man, whether it's
Yeah.
with groceries or whatever. She's always telling me the deals that she got and how much money she saved. So,
Right. So, which is good. Nothing wrong with saving money. But when we get excited about this $80 that we saved or whatever the amount is, the 20%, 50%, whatever, I always look at it like, so what was the cost? $150?
Yeah.
Okay. So I look at it like you spent $150,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I look at time the same way. How much time did we save? Well, what did we spend? Right? If we save time by now look, you race, I race, we love going fast.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You know where your apexes are, you know where your lines are, and you know where you can shave a few seconds on the track, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Right. You pick the right lines and you're in it to win it.
Absolutely.
But when something goes wrong or whatever, where do you spend your time? So when you think about your whole day and we get excited about how much time we saved. I mean, if you're racing, that's different. I'm excited when you shave a few seconds off,
Yeah.
right? Because you're going to get the checker.
No kidding.
But in our day, we talk about what kind of time we save doing this, doing that. We should be talking about what did we do with our time,
Yeah.
right? What did we do in those moments with the time? Did we make the most of our time? Were we present? Were we there? Were we, enjoying it?
Yeah. Did we maximize it, right? Because
Right,
there's all kinds of
exactly.
things. And you know what? Here's the thing, Kit. The world competes for your time,
Yeah.
right? And the media, social media, everything is competing for your time. And they try and make you think that what they have to offer is the best thing for your time. But really,
Right.
like, this goes back to what we talked about last time, which is I'll decide, right? You decide
Right.
what is best to do with your time. And there are things that are way better to do with your time than just plugging away on social media. I mean, you don't have to eliminate social media from your life by any means, but the effective use of your time, there's only so much in a day, right?
It's funny you say that because we always are comparing ourselves to other people, right? Which is a big no-no because nobody's unique. No one's like you. No one's the same as any of us, but we do compare ourselves to other people. And so, the one thing that no matter what, no matter how wealthy, no matter how poor, no matter where you are in life, time levels the playing field.
It sure does.
Right? I don't care if it's Elon Musk. I don't care who it is. We still have the same amount of time. We put our pants on the same way, but guess what? There's 24/7. That don't change for him.
No, nope, not at all.
So, I mean, that's kind of insightful and it's reassuring.
Yeah.
He has the same amount of time as we do.
He's just doing something different with it.
Exactly. He's doing something different with his time. Neck Nation, we got to figure out what we're doing with our time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth. So wasting time is a big deal. So I thought about it the other day, and if we take an hour a day, how easy is it to waste an hour a day just doing whatever?
Yeah, it happens all the time. I know
Right?
I do it all the time. Maybe watching a show, maybe too much social media, whatever it is.
So if we waste 1 hour a day, it adds up to 15 days a year.
That's a lot of time.
Right? That's a lot of time. So if we 1 hour a day, well, it's like we talked about in our episode, the small things equal the big things, right?
Yeah.
So 1 hour a day is 15 days. So in a year, so if we take that and just compound it by 5, say 5 years, we're 75.
75 days.
That's just in a period of 5 years.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a big deal. So whatever we can do to save time and maximize our time, right? I mean, you get up early.
Yeah, I do get up early. I got to get up and go to work and stuff. But one thing that we should think about is if the average person gets up at 7 o'clock, right? And this just kind of goes off of what you just said here is there's 15 days in a year. If we maximize or don't waste an hour a day, right? We get
Right.
15 days back. If you wake up at 5 a.m. every day instead of 7 a.m. every day, that's 2 hours a day. That's 30 extra days a year. That's an entire month. What could you do with an extra month every single year, Neck Nation? I mean, that's a huge amount of time, and all it is 2 hours a day would equal you an extra month every year.
You're absolutely right. We'd get up at 3, and me, I'd sometimes finish my day at 10 o'clock and be rolling out at 2:30 or 3 in the morning to set a laser screed up. And I used to take the boys, and when we'd see the sun coming up, job's 2 hours away, and we see the sun coming up, and it's beautiful, the sunrise. I always said to him, I said, man, look at that.
Yeah.
I said, wouldn't it suck to be lazy? You don't get to see the sunrise at 5:30 in the morning. And they're like, yeah, that's beautiful. And, Caden would be taking pictures, and sometimes Kyler would be like, bro, we see the sunrise every day.
Yeah, right.
Big deal.
Yeah.
But the reality is it does make a difference. And so I think sometimes we are so busy, and it seems like to me we wear that badge of honor, like, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy, I'm so busy. I did it. I used to sit there and look at the talk time on my phone. It was 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I did the math.
Holy
I'm
cow.
like, 3 weeks and 1 month. That's dope. Not anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Don't like it. Don't call me, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't like to answer.
That's a lot of time.
So it's important, but when my son or someone says, I just don't have time. I got wrestling, I got work, I got school. And the reality is we have time for what our priorities are. If I tell you, man, I don't have time for this or that, you say, hey, dude, people are catching largemouth bass and some lunkers. We got to get up at 3 a.m. I'd be like, I got time.
Yeah, I got time then.
I got
right?
time. Let's roll.
It's priorities.
It is. It's priorities. So, what's funny is our biggest distraction is our Google boxes.
It is.
Those phones.
Yep, big time.
Especially for the younger generation.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
Well, I say especially for the younger generation, but you look around. Go to the restaurant next to just pay attention. It's everybody, right? They're on the Google box. And so in training my kids to pay attention to time and how much time they're spending on there, because once you get on there and you start scrolling through and swiping up and down and looking at this and how cool that is, really you're living vicariously through whoever's page you're on.
Yeah, no kidding.
You're not writing your own story, so you're really wasting time. It's good for inspiration. It's good to learn new things. Putting them into action is a whole nother thing. So as the kids were younger, I would monitor how much time they'd spend on there. And so one day I said, hey, let's go riding. So we went out to the desert, and all the way there on the phone. I said, okay, jump out of the truck. Let's get the bikes ready. Let's get them warmed up, get your helmet on, your chest pads. And so we know the drill when we get out of the truck. Oh, phone in one hand, just trying to finish conversation or whatever, right? And I said, nah, we're done. We ain't riding today. And so I got his attention. He's like, no, I'll put my phone away. I was just getting ready because I want to take some pictures. I was clearing pictures. I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
No. You got to get up early in the morning to outsmart this rooster. See, all the way out here, I was tapping. He goes, yeah. I said, you have a 32-second window where you set your phone down and you pick it back up. Muscle memory. You just check it again. Like, are you going to win the lottery? No.
Yeah.
Well, then stop looking at it. Look outside. Look around.
Yeah.
So it progressively got a little bit worse. And I think that's how it goes, right? You start spending more and more time, and then all of a sudden it becomes what we talked about in our last episode, and that's muscle memory, right? It's that subconscious taking over and just driving.
It does.
And so my youngest, he went down the rabbit hole and was always looking at his phone, and I'd warn him. And so what I did is I went out and I said, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to buy some phones that aren't very capable, right? You got a smartphone, I'm going to buy a dumb phone. So if you don't pay attention to the time and you start managing your time a little bit better on that Google box, you're going to lose it. He's like, yeah, okay, whatever. I don't think he thought I was serious.
Oh, no.
Right?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So anyways, one day I said, hey, let's go. I said, they're going to go to the store and you and I are going to go somewhere else. Oh, okay, cool, Dad. So we mobbed down to the mall, walk into the store, the cell phone store, and he's like, what are we doing? I said, I'm going to upgrade that phone. He's like, oh, man, you're the best, Dad. Thanks. I'm like, no problem.
Little does he know, man.
So the salesman's like, what can I help you with? I said, we're going to upgrade Junior's phone here. And he says, oh, sweet. Let me see your phone. What do you got? Da-da-da. Yeah, let's get you the 11 because it was, a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I said, no. I said upgrade. I said, you got one of those phones, those analogs, those real hard ones you have to push 3 times and to text, and one of those that flips open and flips shut.
Flip phone,
bro. And he's like, yeah, they're $29. I said, that's what I need. He goes, that's not an upgrade. And I said, I'll decide.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Yeah, I'll decide.
Yeah, it was a lifestyle upgrade.
Yeah.
Right? It's an update. right? We have to update his expectations. How much time are you spending on the Google box?
Yeah, too much time.
So if you get him a dumb Google box,
You're not going to be spending your time on there anymore. You're going to be
Right.
doing better things with it.
right. So long story short, his nickname's Flip. And I showed him some real cool ways to flip that phone open, right? You can do it like this, you can do it like that. And
Yeah, no kidding.
he was heartbroken, right? He's like, Dad, this sucks. I said, I know. So don't waste your time. Pay attention. That's how important time is, son. So we go home, we're sitting on the couch, and his older brother's making fun of him. I mean, he's poking him hard, right? I thought they were going to go downstairs into the wrestling room and get real. So they're going back and forth, and my youngest tries to text to my oldest, "You're a dick,"
Oh, no.
on that phone. And, bro, he started crying halfway through.
Oh, no, he couldn't do it.
Yeah. So,
Too
anyway.
young to remember the 9 key.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. We used to
Oh,
right through it.
dude. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We'd motor through it. But anyway, it was a really good lesson. Was it hard? Was it a little bit of tough love? Did it suck? Yeah. Was he embarrassed about his flipper? Yeah, he was. Did he like his name? No,
No.
he didn't. But guess what? Did I have to ever do it again?
No, probably not.
No. As soon as I said, "Hey, son, you're going a little bit too far down the road. Pay attention to your time," he started paying attention to his time.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good lesson for everybody. And it's not just the time that we spend, it's the quality of time. So when we have those phones with us and we're with our family, technically we're physically there with our family. We're spending time with our family, but
We're not really there, are we?
right?
Yeah.
That's why I love going into the, grabbing a handful of throttle or doing whatever, because that windshield time and the riding and doing those things that occupy both your hands, and fishing and stripping your line and riding snowmobiles and those types of activities. I love it because guess what?
You
We
can't
win.
be on your phone.
No, we win. The activity beats the phone. And if the activity doesn't beat the phone, you're losing.
Yeah,
So-
I'd agree with that.
It's important. It's even important for me. Sometimes when you're looking for something for business or looking for a new rig or a new tractor or a new whatever, oh, bro, you can keep going and going and going.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a pile of resource. We're drowning in information, but we're starving for wisdom. You think about that just for a minute.
Yeah.
Think about the information on the internet. We are drowning in information,
Yeah, absolutely we
but
are.
this world's starving for wisdom.
Yeah.
Really? You're spending all this time on the Google box, and we're drowning in all this information that you want to know. All right, go watch 60 Minutes. It's only 44, by the way.
Yeah, it's only 44.
So, look, Neck Nation, everybody, each one of us, eventually, guess what we're going to do? We're going to run out of time,
Yeah.
right? And when we run out of time, that's it. Game's over. So let's use our time right now to do whatever we can to do what? To make us better people tomorrow than we are today. Let's take care of our time. Those around us, let's be the example, right? Let's lead by example and pay attention to time. It goes with everything.
Absolutely, Neck Nation. If you like what you heard today, be sure to like this video, follow us on YouTube. Again, remember, the more you like this, the more people we're able to reach, and hopefully we can help other people use their time more wisely as you use your time more wisely, and then we all just become better versions of ourselves, right? So, follow the video, and follow the YouTube channel, and bless up, Neck Nation.
And thanks for your time. Bless up.